wake up in the morning, hey, I see your lovely face. Hello, my name is Jodie. I'm a singer, songwriter, and a jewelry artist from Nigeria. And I want to say to you, Africa, I love you.
Welcome to this special edition of Just Asking, where we are looking at Africans making a difference in our own continent, Africa. This is a program we believe will have an impact on Africa now more than ever. And today we are glad to be hosting Esther Chiaka Orjiakor. Welcome, Chiaka.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Would you start by probably introducing yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do here in Kenya.
Okay, so my name is Chiaka. I edit a magazine called Biz Africa. Biz Africa is one of the mediums that we use to market a foundation that we call the Foundation for Indigent Students of Africa. But we've done it in a very creative manner in the sense that we promote African film, we encourage people to appreciate African film, and we also look at the business aspect of film. We try and educate a lot of Africans on, marketing, distribution, and many of the business aspects that many people seem to forget once they produce a film. Yes.
Great. And for how long have you been doing this?
Okay, we released our first edition in June 2011. We're working on our fourth edition now. But I believe we'll go for a couple of years, and who knows, we might even see a TV show.
Would you love to highlight a little bit about your background and what was your inspiration, why you got into this film industry?
Well, I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in journalism. I focused on broadcast journalism, and I have such a huge passion for broadcasting. I worked for Mnet's The Patricia Show for close to 6 months, where I learned so many camera skills. I produced a couple of programs. It was a brilliant experience, and I believe it's what gave me the foundation to what I'm doing now. I've also done a couple of documentaries. I once worked with an LGBTI community in Kenya where we produced a documentary for them. It's a very secret society, more or less. So I've done quite a lot in the industry, but I'm still very young, and I believe I have so much yet to do.
And what do you think about the film industry in Africa?
Well, from our research, I could see that it's still at its teething phase. You can't compare it with Asia, you can't compare it with America, you can't compare it with Europe. We have a very long way to go, but a lot of people are making some very positive steps. A lot of Africans are embracing film and art as a whole. So I believe in the near future, things will change for the better. It's creating a lot of employment opportunities in Africa, and it's definitely a sector worth considering investing in. If you do things right, this is an industry where people will live off production.
What do you mean when you do things right?
If you do things the correct way.
Yes.
Meaning, okay, assuming you produce a film, right? Get the best script writers in Africa. Get the best filmmakers. Get the best people behind the cameras. Get the best sound people. Just get the best of everybody. Do a really, really good script, and you'll make it. Why not?
No, but do you think Africa can really live up to the level and the standard that Hollywood has set up for us?
If you look at Nigeria's film industry, Nollywood, as they call it these days, they started off with just budgets of less than $1,000. Some of them with budgets of $100, and this was back in the 80s. They would borrow people's clothes, they borrow houses, they borrow cars, they borrowed everything until they made it to what it is today. Today, Nollywood is $1 billion industry. It's portraying Nigeria very positively, and it's growing. So if Africans, Nigerians can do this, why can't the rest of the continent do this? Each country should be able to embrace film and use it to positively affect their country.
Now, you mentioned that FilmBiz is used to educate and inform the public. What role do you think FilmBiz has been able to play in positively influencing its audience and the society at large, really?
Okay, well, FilmBiz, if you look around the continent, you don't really have any magazine that critically look at film in the continent, that do reviews, that do critiques, that give professional advice. There aren't any, literally, that I can mention offhand. There may be one or two, but they're not as popular as FilmBiz right now. FilmBiz, we focus on developing aspects of film in the continent. We in fact did a whole edition which was called Film as a Tool of Positive Change. We talked to different organizations that are teaching film in the slums, that are using film to depict societies that are neglected, that are using film to teach about HIV and AIDS. We looked at very, very critical issues in society and covered it in this edition. And every edition we just have special content on in a manner that when you pick the magazine, you read it, you just come out with a whole different aspect of film. You just think differently, and you know that you can go places with film.
Who do you consider is the target audience for this magazine?
Well, you see, film, it's a very, it's a broad field. It's a general thing. Everybody has an interest in film. But if I have to say our specific target audience, this is people who have a personal passion for film. That's producers, actors, directors, script writers, name it. There's so many people who are involved in the production of film. And of course, investors. There are a lot of people who have their eyes in the arts. They just don't know how to go about it. So this is the magazine to look at.
Great.
Yes.
What do you hope to achieve at the end with FilmBiz?
Well, by the end of our production of this, I don't know if it's really going to come to an end. I see it like a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
You will have a lot of African filmmakers more confident that when their film is produced, there's definitely going to be a medium for marketing it. They don't have to worry too much about spending millions and getting the word out. Just put it in our magazine. We'll do the reviews, we'll do the critiques, we'll do everything necessary to get your film to where it deserves to be. And we'll really try and help African filmmakers to make money, finally. Because many are doing it, but they're not making any money out of it. Our goal is to help them, teach them how to make money out of it.
Now, from experience, we have a precedence that has been set by magazines and media houses where they only host or showcase the celebrities within the industry. What is FilmBiz doing to develop new and fresh talent from the grassroots?
If you look at the past 3 editions that we've done so far, we actually have not focused on celebrities as such. We do have a couple of stories on celebrities, but we don't focus on them. We look mainly at the educational and academic side of it. There's so many people that are making a difference in Africa through film, and that's exactly what we focus on. Even though our next edition is called the creme de la creme of acting in Africa, of course, it's full of celebrities from page 1 to 60.
Yeah.
But these are just not just any celebrities. We have upcoming acts who have never been recognized. We have actors who are doing charity work. There are just so many people in the whole continent and no one knows about them. So we've put them in this edition because their skill is really good and they have the ability to change Africa for the better through their skill in acting.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, beyond what you do at FilmBiz Africa, I know you have had an experience living in various countries.
Yes.
So I don't know actually if you're from Nigerian or you consider yourself
Ethiopia
Kenyan
or
or Ethiopian.
Yeah.
How has your background contributed or influenced in what you have achieved so far?
Yeah, I believe it's given me exposure, if I have to say that. It's really broadened my thinking. When I compare myself with a lot of people who've just lived in one African country or just one country in the whole world, I don't mean to insult anyone, but then the way they think is just not the way I think. I think like 360 degrees. If I'm going to write a story, will this appeal to Ethiopians? Will this appeal to Nigerians? Will this appeal to South Africans? Out of all the countries I live in, I start thinking about it and then I go ahead and publish. I look at pictures, I look at people's culture. I think it has really broadened my perspective in life. Yes.
You have many origins. You have been in Kenya, you have lived in Ethiopia,
Exactly.
you have lived in Nigeria. So do you consider yourself a Kenyan, a Nigerian, an Ethiopian? What do you consider yourself?
I'm African, very proudly African.
Great.
Let's put it that way.
Great, that's the spirit.
My Amharic is better than my English, by the way.
What about your Swahili?
My Swahili is better than my French, let's put it that way.
Habari ya kushinda.
Poa sana.
Great. I know you're used to interviewing. How does it feel to be the one on the receiving end?
It's exhilarating, if I have to say this. I think I'd like to do this for the rest of my life. I really have a passion for broadcasting, for film, for everything to do with television and online media. I think that's where my life is headed. Yeah.
So if you have passion in TV, then why did you move to magazine?
Why did I move to magazine? Yeah. Well, for lack of a better word, should I say it's the easier way out? It's much more easier to reach to corporates when you have a tangible product like this. Tell them, have this magazine, please put in an advert, please do this, help us contribute articles. People take me a lot more seriously somehow. But when I tell them, I have a TV show coming up, they say, and can we see your pilot? I just get so irritated. But I think in the near future, I'm definitely gonna set up a good foundation there.
You worked for Mnet, or you worked in Mnet, the Patricia show. How was it? How was the experience working in Mnet?
What happened is Mnet commissioned a company called Mandala Television to produce one of the best ever talk shows in Africa. It was called The Patricia Show. It was, in one word, a brilliant experience, I'd have to say. I think it's what made me go into film and broadcasting and what I'm doing right now, because I worked within the compound of film studios. Film studios is one of the oldest institutions of film in Kenya. They have camera equipment, they have light, they have sound, they have basically everything. And if you just walk into one of the studios in film studios, you'll drop your mouth because it's so amazing. The fans, the lights, the what, it's like just ecstatic. So the experience there really opened up my eyes to this industry. It brushed up my production skills. Now I could confidently write a segment. I could come up with ideas for a segment. I can manage guests. I can get people to a show. I can even make a show of my own. I can do post-production. I can do marketing. It was a great experience. If anyone ever gets a job opportunity with Mnet, just grab it, take it, run with it. Even if it's a company that's just commissioned by Mnet, like Mandala TV was, go with it.
Great.
Go with it, yes.
And what contribution do you think Mnet has made towards the film industry through its numerous trainings that it has conducted in Africa?
Like I said, Mnet had commissioned Mandala TV to do the Patricia show, so that's where the link with Mnet came in. But from the little I know, the much I know rather, about Mnet, they're doing a brilliant job. They really invest in film, in broadcast, and I can't compare them with any other TV or broadcast or film company in the whole continent that's really making an effort to take African film to another level. So if I have to say anything about them, I think they're doing a great job, a brilliant job.
Yeah. And apart from Mnet, which other media houses or TV stations in the different countries in Africa do you think have equally contributed positively towards the development of film and the television?
I know in Kenya, for example, there's Citizen Television, KBC, which is the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, NTV, Nation Television. These are all embracing local content more than ever before. They're commissioning small production houses to make TV soaps and whatnot. In Ethiopia, they have ETV, Ethiopian Television, and that's government run. But ETV, I know it focuses a lot on the local programs. Maybe 90 to 10%, who knows. From the little I know, there are a lot of Ethiopian programs on TV. South Africa, I know SABC is doing a brilliant job. In Nigeria, there's NTA, there's AIT, there's Silverbird, there's just so many. So if you just look around the continent, everyone is doing the little they can to make the TV and film industry grow. In Nigeria, they have a policy where they have 70% local content and 30% international, which has really helped to boost the industry there.
Right.
The same policy is some other African countries are trying to adopt the same policy. Like in Kenya, for example, I know right now it's 40% local and 60% international, but people are really pushing for the policy to change, that it becomes 60% local and 40% international. I believe if TV stations all across Africa embrace the local content first and then the international content second, it will definitely make a difference, not only in the lives of film and television producers, but also in the life of the people within their country. It keeps the culture. There is no other medium of communication that you can use to promote a country's culture apart from film and broadcast. But I think one thing is missing. We don't really have an African Al Jazeera or an African CNN or an African BBC, a homegrown initiative. We don't have that. I know there's A24, but it's not exactly an African Al Jazeera as such. We're not there yet.
There's K24 in Kenya.
K24, I know. Looking at A24, it covers the whole continent. It just brings us all together, like Al Jazeera does for the Arab world, CNN for the America and much, BBC for Britain. We don't really have our own huge institution that covers the whole continent. Until we have that, then we're going to go somewhere, go places.
Okay.
Yes.
And who have you been able to interview in the course of your work at Film Biz Africa? Whom have you hosted for interviews in the different editions for your magazine?
We've talked to Wale Soyinka, by the way. That was our last edition. We attended a seminar where he gave a speech on, film in Africa, how it's positively affecting things and so on. So we had a few minutes with him. We've talked to Mona Lisa Chinda. Mona Lisa Chinda is a popular Nollywood actress. I think you know that. We've talked to Charles Simpson, the establisher of Film Studio. We've talked to, there's so many people on the list. There's Peter Boutier, Zim Shamoun, a lot of people who are making impacts in film in Africa.
What is the quality of the films from Nigeria? I mean, we consider them as industry leaders within Africa.
Okay, there are two types of films, by the way, Nigeria turns out. One, we have the high-end production films. That includes things like IJ, Tango With Me, what else? I think it's called Araro Mire by Kunle Afolaya if I'm right, that's his name. There are a lot of films that are really high-end production. They've put in so much money in it, and the quality is perfect. They shoot it on Red One and Arri cameras and whatnot. Then we have the home video, where they just shoot and throw it into the market, sell it for 20 naira, 50 naira, it's gone. Now, I'm not going to condemn any. I think both of them are doing extremely well, but I would encourage more and more Africans to invest more in the film so that the quality comes out much better, and so that you can proudly show it to anyone in the world. This is my film, and you show it proudly. The quality is good, the storyline is good, everything is good. But when you just put in, say, $100 or $200 in a film, you get in your friends, you put it on a DVD and throw it in the market, it also doesn't look good for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes you look cheap yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
And which countries have you visited in the past? Have you lived or visited?
Lived in?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been living in Kenya for close to 7 years now. I lived in Ethiopia for 15 years and Nigeria for 1 year. I was a baby, so young, so I don't remember
And
much,
which of these
even
was
though I
the-
visited a
Okay.
lot. Yes.
But which of this was the best experience you had?
Out of all.
Yeah.
Now that's very tricky because I don't know.
Or what was outstanding at the time when you were in Nigeria? What was outstanding in Ethiopia, and what was outstanding in Kenya?
Well, all three of the countries have their own outstanding factors. Kenya, the weather is absolutely beautiful. The people are more open, very dynamic, very up and doing. Nigeria, same thing. People are very dynamic. It's a very bustling country. It's so full of energy. A lot of business-minded people. Ethiopia, let's just say comme si comme ça. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
It's a nice country, great weather, great people, interesting system. Full stop.
Now, the education system in Africa, the standards are really falling. Do you think if the children of ministers, prime ministers, and legislators, our MPs, and the rest of the policymakers, do you think if the children were in public schools that they would fund education and contribute positively to, to improve the standards of education within our continent?
It's a bit difficult to generalize people. Some people personally and naturally, they feel like they have the need and the responsibility to give back to society. Then some people, especially rich people, if I have to say, people who are born with so much privilege, they have a golden spoon in their mouth, they have cars, house, everything they need. They feel life should be that way, and they don't have the responsibility of taking care of other people. So it depends. It depends on the person naturally. But I think if the children of politicians went to such schools, the majority of them would feel the need to tell their parents, look, in my school the toilets cannot even flush. The boards are made out of blackboards and part of it is chipping.
Books.
Yeah, our books are torn, you know.
Yeah.
The majority of them would have heart enough to go and tell their parents, make a difference, do something, Dad, do something, Mom, we need this change. I think the majority. But people are different, so I can't generalize.
Okay.
Yes. I think, have you looked at the way Americans run their political system, especially when it comes to education? It's so common to see Barack Obama sitting in a class with students, or Michelle Obama sitting in a class with students, talking with them, trying to understand their needs and wants. If we can get African presidents, not just, presidents themselves, prime ministers, to go to these public schools, sit down with the students, listen to what they have to say, listen to their needs. The children are the future. If you don't invest in the children, who are you going to invest in?
But do you think these presidents and prime ministers have, can really do that? That is realistic for them?
Why not?
In
Aren't they
Africa?
human beings like us?
I mean,
they should.
with the ego and the pride
no.
that we have.
There's no space for that. They should not. In fact, they're normal human beings like us. If you cut their meat like this and you cut mine, you'll find blood inside and water, right?
Yes.
They're not made out of anything special that they shouldn't go down and find out what's happening.
Away from what you do at work.
Yes.
And into your personal life, and probably would love to ask, are you seeing someone?
I don't think that's your business.
Beyond work. Okay. That's not my business.
No.
Okay. Well, just ask.
Again.
Yes.
I think so.
That's part of what we do, just asking.